time are not teaching digital literacy or media literacy. So people don't know how to kind of evaluate what they're finding online. So you put those two together, and there are some real issues going on. We want our experiences in digital spaces to be more shareable. We want them to have this far-reaching, large impact. We want them to be non-age segregated and more accessible to more people. We want them unmoderated, meaning there's nobody kind of controlling the connection. The experience there is kind of feels hyper real almost and hyper present. And then the final thing that is really coming through in the tech world is the gamification of most things. In mental health in the US now, many insurance companies are increasingly moving to a gamified model where if I, as a private practitioner, submit a clinical diagnosis of anxiety or depression for someone, very likely their insurance company is going to send them weekly games that can help them with their symptoms that they will do online. This is happening in schools across the United States for sure, where many districts and schools are moving to a one-to-one policy where first graders, sixth graders, and ninth graders will be given iPads that will serve as their homeroom instructors. And so we are seeing the gamification of learning more and more, not always with the end in mind of actually creating dynamic learners, but more with the end in mind of making learning fun. And we're going to talk about that as we go. These are just examples of some of the ways in which those trends are playing out. These are 3 of the more accessed social networks. Tumblr is also very interesting as a kind of a connector of people. This is one of the spaces that is still possible to post and interact completely confidentially online. So a lot of young adults find themselves really deep into stuff that is hurtful to them in spaces like Tumblr. Tumblr is a photo and video blogging service. Some of the top searches in the last year, especially for an adolescent and young adult population in the West, are things like self-harm, and then a lot of porn. A lot of porn gets access through Tumblr. So sites like this, oftentimes kids are spending a lot of time here and having really difficult and painful experiences, and their parents or the important people in their lives don't have a clue how to help them with that. And if there is this split where the people who aren't engaged in these tech spaces as much are looking down upon the people who are, there's also fear of revealing the kinds of difficult situations one has online because there's fear of shaming and punishment rather than connection and help. Snapchat is one of the most interesting of these kinds of platforms that really shows all of those traits that we are looking for in tech spaces right now. And the reason that I think Snapchat is interesting is because it also points out that app developers don't just develop apps for our own good. They actually